Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. Ali's here, Frank as well. Robbo joins us. I don't think we got a question on this, so I will start with this question because it was quite interesting when Hakimi didn't celebrate that opening goal, Robbo, because of course he used to play for Inter. Frank was not a happy boy. It's like the Champions League final. Celebrate.
Absolutely, I agree with Frank. You left the club. For whatever reason you left the club, whether they got rid of you or you went to what you thought were better things. You moved for a reason. You score a goal, and it's a great goal. You open the score in the Champions League. You want to celebrate. In England, they were saying it's very classy. Just celebrate the goal. Yeah. You don't play for that club anymore.
No sentiment from Robert.
I remember what is the centre back played for Paris Saint-Germain and Chelsea after, then came back to Paris Saint-Germain with Silva. Luis Silva, the hairy guy.
Fullback, yeah.
The fullback, yeah.
David
fullback.
Luiz.
David Luiz. Thank you, yeah. David Luiz. He scored a goal in the Champions League against Paris Saint-Germain in the last minutes.
Right.
And celebrated.
Right.
And he's totally right.
Would you have celebrated against Marseille?
Of course.
Against Strasbourg?
Of course.
Really?
In front of the chairman. Say you got rid of me, or you didn't want me, or I don't know, I left and good for me.
What about against the Qatari 11 that picked that?
Well, maybe, but I'm not sure about that. But you have the right to enjoy. Right. I mean, you don't belong to the club anymore if you have respect. And that was crazy. He immediately thought about that.
Right.
It was like prepared. How can you prepare? You score a goal in Champions League. Enjoy it.
Ali, you did it. You celebrated, obviously, when you scored.
Are you kidding me? Of course. I was traded so many times. I had so many former teams. It doesn't really matter. You score the goal, you celebrate. But what was funny about that is that he goes and gives to the old, apologizing to the Inter fans because he scored. And then there are some Inter fans who are seeing this guy score against you and they're clapping for him thanks for the appreciation. Are you kidding me?
That's diplomatic.
What about the big guy crying?
Oh my God, that was sad. That was sad.
Oh, no.
No, but it's always sad.
He's going to be famous now, isn't he? For the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Robbo, have you ever witnessed a more lopsided final across any competition? Also, has anyone heard from Don? Well, Don is still confused as to what Bruno should do.
Yeah.
Robbo, you mentioned the 2011 final. That scoreline wasn't quite what this was, but that was very much men against boys, Barca against United.
Yeah. And if you want to go back to, you said any final, you talked about Champions League or any final, there was when Manchester City beat Watford 6-0 in the FA Cup for 4 or 5 years. No, it was Watford.
Yeah.
Watford 6-0, and the game was all over after about 20 minutes. So it was very hard to commentate on because it wasn't a contest. I think I enjoyed watching the game where it was AC Milan that beat Barcelona in the final, the Champions League final, or European Cup, I think it was then, 4-0.
Yeah.
And they completely dominated Barcelona. It was an outstanding performance when Gullit was at his best, Van Basten, and all those sort of players. So, that was another one where it was one-sided.
And Marcel Desailly scoring the fourth goal. But the curve, Marcel Desailly was like a number 10 that day.
What springs to mind, Frank? One-sided finals? Anything?
No, nothing.
Nothing more than
that Barcelona, Milan.
Barcelona, Milan.
Well, it's not a final, but we go back to Brazil 2014 World Cup.
You can't just do semi. You can't pick games, Ali.
Well, I'm just saying, in a final stage of a competition.
No, it's the semi-final. It doesn't count.
Well, okay.
1970, Brazil against Italy.
Yeah.
4-1, I think.
There you go. Robbo, you're alive for that.
I was, but it wasn't all one-sided. It took him a long time to get into the lead in that game. But I thought Frank was going to say the World Cup when he won it. 3-0 against Brazil, one-sided.
It could have been
That's what he was going to
6-1.
say.
It could have been 6-1, really.
May I say?
I'm all behind you, Frank.
In the Barcelona Manchester United, even though the scoreline was not what this was, what was most impressive is that was a really, really good Manchester United team.
Yeah.
And they were made to look like they did not belong. I think it's different in this one in that the difference between PSG was huge to Inter. It should not have been the case between Barcelona and that version of Manchester United.
We discussed this at length, obviously, in the show, but a lot of people asking once again, Frank, how is it possible that a club wins the Champions League and they let players like Messi and Mbappe go?
Because, again, we have to know football. you have to know that football is not about one person. It's not about superstar. We created like the world, the society, individualities, and we have to stop that. Football is a collective sport where it's. We still have in rugby. You English, I'm French. We know that rugby is important in our culture. That it says a lot about how to work together. In American football, you can have that also. The first line saving the quarterback. But you have to protect the quarterback in order for him to deliver. And you need the big guys at front. And it's what you need in football also, in soccer, where you need to have basics. And we forgot that. And Messi and Mbappe or Neymar, they didn't help the rest of the team. And it's a big lesson to football, but it's a big lesson to media. We have to stop to make people thinking that one player can save a team.
No, but there is something special about an individual within a team sport that shines.
But always been.
If you look at what we've talked about over the
But
last 3 months.
they still have to work for the team, though.
Yeah.
They still have to work for the team, though, Dan.
Yeah, what I'm saying is...
The demise of Juventus started.
Look Zidane, like Pelé before, like Cruyff, like
but what I'm saying
Platini. They help the team.
It's individuals that sell sport, not teams.
No, of course, because they can make the difference.
Exactly.
But
we've spent more time speaking about Lamine Yamal than any other player over the last 3 months, and for a reason.
yeah, of course, and rightly so.
Right.
But Lamine Yamal wouldn't do the defensive job. I can tell you, it would be hammered by the others.
But you can't come in as the media police and say you can't talk about him because you need to talk
No,
about...
you can talk about him in a fair way. In a fair way. Not only, we all agree that Mbappe has been pichichi, that's what you say, this season.
Yes.
Was it enough?
No.
No, but we have to talk about that. Right. We have to explain to the people, because we are legit for that. We've been players to know what everybody has to do in the football world and what is wrong. And that's wrong. When you don't defend because you're a striker, you lose the ball and you don't care. Like, okay, the guy's behind you, get the ball back. We are not their servants. We are not their employees. We work together, and they have to do the part of the job.
So since this is a team sport, who's going to win the Ballon d'Or?
Oh my God, Lamine Yamal.
Right, where are we? Oh, it's on here, isn't it? I got distracted.
Are you checking your email? Instagram? What are you checking? Whoa.
My DMs.
Whoa.
What's what? Calm down. Is it time? Wait. See, if I get it printed out and I can
see. PSG favorites for FIFA World Club.
PSG favourites. That's not even on here.
Oh yeah.
It's on there.
PSG favourites to win the Club World Cup.
Who cares?
Who cares? Ali?
Well, no, Real Madrid, because they really care.
Oh yeah, they do care. Yeah.
Robbo?
I didn't quite hear the question, but there's only one team that really is desperate, and that's Real Madrid at the moment. This is going to be the saviour of their season, apparently.
Yes, indeed.
Getting all their players in and winning it, and great start for Xavi Alonso. Surely that's what's going to happen.
Let's take a look at the next question, shall we? That's coming up. If Dembele doesn't win Ballon d'Or, does the award itself lose all credibility?
But he never had any credibility. It doesn't mean anything, the Ballon d'Or. Come on, people.
Who invented...
Random. First, when your name is random, you're...
Who invented this award?
French people.
Oh.
I play, how do you say, I said we're guilty for that. No problem.
Yes.
But we created European Cup. All the European Cup, and there was the first World Cup, Jules Rimet Trophy, that was French as well.
Okay.
You created football.
Right. Yes.
We created trophies.
Okay.
But that's stupid. Ballon d'Or is stupid. That's an insult to our sport. People stop listening, watching that evening. It's stupid. It's an insult to football, to soccer. Please ban it.
Wow. There's no way to go after that.
Frank.
Oh, go on,
Yes.
Robbo.
Frank, if you won the Ballon d'Or, would you give it back?
No, I would never. I would have never gotten it. It's like I always say: if I get an Oscar or I get a Molière in a play, I will never take it because without
that's lies.
No, that's not a lie. And that's
you
not a
would
lie.
take it.
Because of my partner, I became good. But without my partner, I mean nothing. And that's my philosophy of the sport, of the movies industry, and the theater industry.
I was gonna vote for you, and now.
No, but don't worry. They don't want me because they already know that I don't want it. So they're not gonna
So
put
when
me
you
there.
get your appearance fee for your World Cup winning chat that you do or on a show,
Yeah.
do you then split the money that you receive with the whole squad?
Yes.
So you're Dancing with the Stars money.
Yeah.
You split that with the whole French World Cup winning squad.
No, because it's not because of them that I danced. You know?
But it's because of them that you're famous.
I made sure that my partner got a lot of money.
No, it's because of them that you're famous.
Yeah.
As a team, you won the World Cup.
I should do
yet
that.
You're benefiting from it.
No, you're going too far, but going a little bit too far, you know. But whatever.
We draw the line. We draw the line and Dancing with the
and
Stars.
really, I want to make sure that I want to tell people that my partners, my friends, you know, from the World Cup 1998, they don't need my money. They're okay.
No,
They're good. We're good with that. You know,
Well, most of them. But
No, they're all good.
So Dembele is not gonna win it then.
I don't think he's going to win because I think Lamine Yamal is going to win.
All right, there you go.
Ali, is it time to consider Luis Enrique as a top elite coach? He didn't get as much spotlight at Barca because he succeeded Guardiola.
I mean, I think Luis Enrique has been in that conversation for a while, but if you didn't feel like he was quite there, I do believe that the job that he has done with PSG, with potentially the best player in the world, walking out that door and this team becoming better under Luis Enrique, I think that elevates the profile of Luis Enrique to that elite level.
Stewart Robson?
Yeah, he becomes a top-class coach. He's, I think, one of only 3 managers that have won the treble twice at football clubs, or different football clubs. So he's right up there at the top, and he's changed his philosophy, and it's looking very good at the moment.
You know, that's a debate with it can be a debate with Pep Guardiola and the fact that Pep couldn't change the way he was thinking. Where Luis managed to do so, where he was saying that he couldn't achieve anything with that team at the beginning of the season. And I would have loved to see Guardiola being able to change the way of thinking. And I'm sorry, he didn't. I want to see what's going to be.
So
able
if
to
you
do
were
next
building
year.
a club tomorrow, who would you have managing? Pep Guardiola or Luis Enrique?
Well, I will have a discussion with Pep Guardiola, and if he wants to keep the way of thinking, no, not gonna get him. But yeah, Luis Enrique, 100% right now.
There we go. Yeah. Should Doue be a starter in the national team, Frank? Has he got 1 cap?
Doue, yes, he just started.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's gifted, by the way.
Like gifted. Yeah, desired gifted.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure he's going to be with the national team very soon, and he's going to stay for a long time if he keeps.
Should he be
working.
a starter? Is the question.
There is a big competition. There is a big competition at front, you know, with Dembele, with of course Kylian Mbappe and some others. But yeah, and he can play also in different positions. He can be also.
So should he be a
10.
starter? Is the question.
Yes, he could be a starter if you want.
Should he be the starter?
Should he be? No, I'm not the coach, and Didier Deschamps
not
knows
the
exactly
coach.
what to do. Yes, you don't want me. Yeah. After the 2 goals, if the game is tomorrow, yeah, it should be.
Well, he's probably a bit tired celebrating.
I don't care. Even drunk, I put him first 11.
Excuse me, what? Sorry, what?
Oh, well, we don't drink. Yeah, it's true.
Ali, how bad was Barca to concede 7 goals against this Inter side?
Yeah, this doesn't look good for Barcelona. It really doesn't.
True.
But it didn't look good while it was happening.
No.
How vulnerable they were in set pieces, how vulnerable they were in moments of transition, how vulnerable that high line that we talked about the whole season, and how good Inter were about taking advantage of that high line. The worst thing about Barcelona in those 2 matches against Inter was when they go up late in the game that they decide they're not going to have enough numbers behind the ball because this is the way we play. Talk about not making an adjustment, in-game adjustment that was necessary. They see that game out. We have a completely different final between Barcelona and PSG. That wasn't the case, and that's on Barcelona.
That's it then, Robbo. The end of domestic football in England. What's your plans over the next couple of months then? You coming here?
I am coming to America on the 3rd to the 13th of July, and then I'm having a knee operation, a new knee put in on the 16th, and hopefully I'll be ready for the start of the season.
Oh, are you in the studio for a 3rd to the 13th, Robbo? right?
I am, yes. So I'll be pleased to be in your company, Dan,
10 days.
but more so Kate.
When is the Club World Cup?
A good question, Frank. I'm going to say June.
Okay.
June the what?
June the when? Sorry.
No, maybe it's Robo.
June the 14th. It starts.
Oh, that's for Don. Don is going to be there.
Yes, Don's getting paid to commentate there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he'll be all.
What a treat.